G'day there, YouTuberosities. This is Warbles on a Lot here with part 2 in my latest conspiracy theory regarding anti-disestablishmentarians in anarchists' clothes. Interesting idea, isn't it? Now, I shot the previous movie, and then I had a look in the inbox, and behold, there was another message from I See Dead Ants. And this message from I See Dead Ants was signed The Big Governor. So we have a mystery solved. The subcommittee is actually 2 accounts by the one person. I don't know which one is the sock and which one is the account, or maybe they're both socks. But there we go. Now, if you were a genuine fair income anarchist attempting to prove your character, what would be the most ridiculous thing that you could do? Threaten somebody with psychotherapy via YouTube. Yeah? You know, it's a pretty Stalinistic thing to be leaping to. Oh, I've made a bad impression on you, so you must be mad, you mongrel bastard cunt. How about I send you me psychiatrist, eh? That's the semantic content of the message I got from I See Dead Ants, signed The Big Governor. That's how I read it, you know. And yeah, I get a pension for narcissistic personality disorder with antisocial traits, but that's only what the psychiatrist said after I gave him half a dozen pages of typed chronological history, so he couldn't get it wrong. He figured that anybody who took such an interest in their own personal history as to be able to write a chronological history of how they come to think the way they do was obviously narcissistic, right? But yeah, I got a better grip on my own history than the psychiatrist did. It just gives me a really good bullshit detector when there's an authoritarian pretending to be an anarchist. So anyway, here's the next message. Okay, so we got from I See Dead Ants to Warbles on a Lot mystery film. I'm uncertain whether communication with you at this time would be fruitful. I hope this doesn't sour possibilities for the future. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. A redacted version of our PM exchange was immediately prepared and sent to a professional psychologist for consideration. He also happens to be a learned scholar in anarchism and has proofread everything you have read, as have other anarchists. I was and still am concerned that I may harm you because you have spoken eloquently about your narcissistic personality disorder with antisocial features, and I'm not skilled in handling people who face your challenges. I have a great deal of respect for what you are trying to achieve and your dedication to it. I have enormously enjoyed your wildlife videos in particular. I haven't yet spoken with a psychologist, but I put to him that if you were in agreement, I would give him your channel details and he could speak with you directly. From reading the redacted copy of our exchange, he thought you should be included in the film, and I didn't. He assumed you were one of the US libertarians, though, and since correcting him, I haven't heard back. I don't know whether he wants to contact you. He may feel this is a dead end and want to spend his time elsewhere. You could speed the process up by saying yay or nay here and then. When I hear from him, I'll go right ahead and send him your channel name if that's what you want. I hope you think on things before doing anything rash that might inflict long-term damage to a new and fragile kinship. All the communications are catalogued as a matter of course. It improves efficiency is all. There is a lot of people to transport information between. Take care, The Big Governor. Psychiatrist at Pacific Ocean distances, is it? I'm on YouTube pushing SunFoils. I do not believe The Big Governor or I See Dead Ants is any kind of an anarchist. I do not know of any anarchists who have immediate access to a consultant psychologist to talk about their fucking YouTube movie. I think it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny. I am not inhibited. I'm not frightened. I am bemused, and I think it's funny. It's fucking hilarious that somebody would threaten me with a fucking psychologist at Trans-Pacific distances via YouTube. My nickname was Warbles on a Lot for 25 years before I got on YouTube, as in Chris Warbles. Warbles who? You know, Chris Warbles on a Lot. yeah, sometimes Chris warbles on too fucking much. But I'm pretty speechless at this one. You go ahead and make whatever movie you want, use whatever you want of my stuff. Right? Ideally, you won't cut it and shut it to make me look too much like an idiot, but that's generally what movie makers like to do with somebody somewhere in the movie, so maybe I'll get to be the dumb bunny. None of that changes the fact that the SunFoils work. It's possible, faintly, that the big governor is actually big petroleum, or maybe big motor manufacturing. But I think big homeland insecurity is much more likely, based by the other people you sent this fucking spurious movie-making shit to. You're looking for people who might be smart enough to know how to take your civilization down. Why would we want to do that? You're doing a fucking magnificent job of tearing your own civilization to pieces without any help from me or anybody else who's smart enough to work out what the fuck's going wrong with it. It's supremely unnecessary to take any action that would hurry society's implosion. It's all happening at its own rate. Doesn't need any help from me. You know, my ambition is to be still sitting on a hill years after society has fucking removed itself from the face of the earth through its own inherent inconsistencies. You know, I'd like to outlast and outlive society, not fucking stir it up and make it any worse. I'm pushing SunFoils because if everybody adopted a SunFoil, then the global road transport fleet would burn about a third less fuel and put a third less atmospheric carbon out its tailpipes every day, and that's, 15 out of 45 million barrels of oil, which would save 18.75 million tonnes of atmospheric carbon, and that means that any as yet unconceived grandchildren that I may have in the future will have less shit in the air they've got to breathe, and they'll have less problems from global warming because there won't be quite as much greenhouse gas pumped out by the global road transport fleet. And if that's, something that I can achieve, then I will achieve it. And if it annoys the fucking big petrochemical companies because they want to sell as much petrol as they can as fast as they can sell it, well, tough shit for them. And if it annoys the big motor car manufacturers because they really want to fucking make brand new cars and sell them to dickheads who don't realise that the only thing wrong with their old car is its battery's flat because they don't drive it long enough for the engine to finish recharging the battery, and therefore it's putting anywhere from 10 to 60% of its fuel burn into a never-ending effort to fail to charge the battery. They don't want people knowing that. If people know that, they're not going to trade in their 5-year-old car because it's a gas guzzler and go and buy a new one that'll be just as fucking bad in 3 months when its battery's flat. The car manufacturers don't want to know about it. So I don't know what the big governor / IC Dead Ants' actual agenda is, but one thing I am fucking certain about, anarchism has no part in it. Right? He's not a fucking anarchist. Not with a top-down hierarchy of rules for who's allowed to say what in the making of the film, to get YouTubers, independent filmmakers, to stand up in neat straight fucking rows and do what they're told and say what they're allowed to say. No, anarchists don't form hierarchical rule-drawing subcommittees. It's an inherent inconsistency in the whole thing. It just rings every fucking red flag warning bell in my head. If that means that I'm mad, paranoid, well, I do get a pension for it, I can't help it, but I don't think I'm wrong here. I think Big Governor and IC Dead Ants are pulling bullshit. Yeah? And if I'm wrong, I apologise, but I don't think I'm wrong. That's why I'm uploading this one too. Ciao.